have Lewis District MP Maria Caulfield join me in the studio. Welcome to the show, Maria.
Thank you.
Now, you've been very busy once again this week. No respite for the, well, I won't say what that word is, but you know what I mean, as we move towards the festive season. First, top of the list, as ever, this week has been the rail strike. Tell us more what you know, what we might hope for in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, well, I mean, as residents in Seahavenfm know that because their train services on the branch line, that has been suspended in a way for the foreseeable future while this train dispute is ongoing. And what that means is there's bus replacement services during the week on as-left strike days. But when there's a driver strike day, which is the as-left strike days, there's not even a bus service available. And that's because on the main line, when there's driver strikes, there's no southern trains at all. And we saw this week that's left 500,000 people in the southeast unable to travel to work or to airports or to hospitals or to schools. So it's had a massive effect. And I called at the end of last week, both Southern and the RMT. I spoke to Mick Cash and Southern to say would they get back round the table at ACAS. And I was very disappointed with the Southern response because the union seemed quite keen to go back to ACAS and Southern didn't. So obviously I fed that back to the Secretary of State, and thankfully over the weekend he did intervene, and now the unions and Southern are around the table with ACAS. They start again this morning, and hopefully that can sort out the dispute, because as all passengers know, the dispute is just one small element of the whole Southern Rail experience. Once that dispute is resolved, we seriously need to look at the Southern Rail performance, which has been sadly lacking for over 18 months. But until this dispute is resolved, we can't really do that. But I'm optimistic now they're back at ACAS that hopefully we should get a resolution to this as soon as possible.
Yes, optimism, hopefully. At least they're back around the table. Let's see how that develops over the days ahead. Let's hope it gets resolved quickly. Now, you've also been in the House supporting an amendment to the Neighbourhood Planning Bill, which has been tabled by the Arundel and South Downs MP, Nick Herbert, and you were speaking in support of him in the House this week.
Yes, that's right. Neighbourhood planning is quite topical all across the constituency. Only a couple of weeks ago, Newark, who've had their neighbourhood plan for nearly 18 months now, had their decision overruled by the Secretary of State, which allowed extra houses to go in addition to what was in their neighbourhood plan. And obviously, I supported the parish council and objected to the Secretary of State's intervention. And what Nick Herbert's done in his amendment to the bill is give extra strength to neighbourhood plans. So people in Seaford are currently looking at their neighbourhood plan. Newhaven's a little bit further ahead with that. But it's important that the time and energy that local people put into that plan is respected, is upheld, and the new powers in the neighbourhood plan will mean a decision that we saw in Newark a few weeks ago is unlikely to happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs some protection, doesn't it? Because the opinions and the efforts of local people to protect their towns is important and should be considered.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, when they do the neighbourhood plans, are told how much housing is needed in that particular town or village. They sign up to that, and then they identify the sites where that housing goes. And so, a lot of work goes into that. So it's not that people are against housing; they want to have a say where it goes. And so that decision needs to be respected when it's made.
Talking about housing, there's been no decision from Lewis District Council yet in relation to the former Newland School site, which has been proposed development by Pegasus there. It was declined, or recommendation from Seaford Town Council was to reject it. It's at Lewis District Council at the moment, but the word I'm getting from Lewis District Council through the sources that we have there is that there is the potential for this property or this site, how do I put this? It won't be included within the number of houses allocated within the core strategy because it's badged up as a windfall site. Now, at the end of the day, Maria, it's a development site. It adds the required number of homes to the area. Just because of the bureaucracy of whether it's a windfall site or not, should that really matter? Would you be doing anything
I have been pushing the town council for a long time now to get on with their neighbourhood plan so that things like this don't happen. If Seaford had a neighbourhood plan in 18 months ago, for example, and had the Newland site in it, that would be included in the numbers. And that's why it's so important that we have neighbourhood plans, so that there isn't additional housing on top of what you've already been allocated. So if there's a neighbourhood plan in place, you've been given the number of houses you have to provide, and you say what infrastructure you need to support that, and then that should be respected. And that's what myself and Nick Herbert were putting down in Parliament this week, and the government is likely to accept that. But because there wasn't a neighbourhood plan in Seaford, additional developments won't count towards Seaford numbers.
Right. Can the government be flexible on that at all?
I don't think so, because that was the urge to get local towns and parishes to go on and get their neighbourhood plans done. We're seeing exactly the same thing up the road in Polegate, where they're having hundreds of new houses being developed, overnight, and not one of those counts to Polegate's numbers because they've not got a neighbourhood plan started. So there are some changes that if you are starting a neighbourhood plan, there may be some consideration given to that. But for the Newland site, unfortunately, the neighbourhood plan has been started too late for that to be included.
It will bring a lot of pressure on you, Maria, when it comes to pass, or if it comes to pass, because people are going to say, well, the infrastructure is already at a stretching point, breaking point.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and I agree, but planning is, although I do get involved more than I should, planning is a local issue, and it's local councillors who make those decisions. And so while I'm very supportive and, I campaign ferociously to protect our green spaces, local councils, if they're given an opportunity to identify sites for housing and then don't do that, then they do need to take some responsibility for that.
Right, okay, let's move this on now. Lewes Prison has been put forward for special measures after the recent problems that were experienced there. It's something that you've been addressing.
Absolutely, and I'm actually quite pleased that it has gone into special measures because, again, there's been a shortage of staff. There's been problems at Lewes Prison for a while now, probably for about 2 or 3 years, and we've seen that culminate a few weeks ago when there was rioting in the prison over one weekend. So special measures means there's going to be more staff, more resources, and better investment going into the prison, so that, that's unlikely to happen again. The governor there is doing a good job. The prison officers there are doing an amazing job. But also the prisoners, they're locked up in their cells often for 20 hours a day. And then we wonder why when they're out for 4 hours, they go a little bit crazy and, are hard to control. And we're not really rehabilitating them at all. So going into special measures, I think, will actually be a good thing for Lewes Prison to help it turn that corner, give some support to those hard-working prison officers, and hopefully make a difference to the lives of those prisoners so they don't end up in prison again.
Well, let's hope that's a story that continues to move forward and ends with a positive slant. Now, you've been working towards improving quotas for small-scale fishermen and sustainable fishing in general.
I have, indeed. And in Newhaven, we have quite a big under 10-metre fleet. So they're the small boats that you see going out. And at the moment, under the EU quota system, they only get about 10% of the UK fishing quota. All the big fleets get about 80%, and not all of those fleets are British-owned. So, there's been a real injustice there that small fishermen have only been able to catch limited numbers of fish. So this is really redressing the balance, and leaving the EU gives us an opportunity to do that. So I'm very pleased that quite early on this has already been discussed.
Oh, that's good. That's moving forward. Now, on a lighter note, you've been out and about in Seaford this past week at a concert.
Yes, I went to the Consensus concert in St Leonard's Church in Seaford last weekend. They're an amazing group of singers. The church was packed, and it's all raising money for the JPK Foundation, which is funding a project just in Eastbourne for people with learning disabilities to be able to live independently. So it was a really enjoyable night, very Christmassy and festive, but also raising money for a very good local charity.
Sounds like a good evening, a good charity to support, and a good evening, it seems, was enjoyed by our Lewes District MP, Maria Caulfield. Thank you for putting us up to date, or keeping us up to date with everything that your busy world involves. And let's hope as we move into 2017, we can see some positives for the area.